there is not only the potential for corruption everywhere, it's almost like there's the inevitability of decay everywhere. Entropy as like an integral part of this material existence. So for me personally, part of what I am striving to do now going forward also, because it's like Gurudev gave me this mission, so I'm going to be, he told me to serve this mission, right? So how to do it, be responsible. Learn to be responsible, sacrifice your own desires, your own good for helping others and for doing what's right? But also realizing and being part of trying to get back to, okay, how to counter the effects of corruption and entropy and decay as much as you can, put up the good fight, realizing ultimately it's inevitability, because it's inevitable. So how you put up the good fight is, for example, there's the 6 stages of life. Okay, birth, growth, giving byproducts, maintaining some status quo or trying to maintain it, then decaying, and then death. Those are the 6 stages of life. So in an institution, in an organization, in any company, as a human being, you go through these stages, okay? So giving byproduct, generally it's thought of as children. In an organization, what it means is, okay, you're born in some brief moment, okay? Then you need to grow. Otherwise, you're going to collapse. If you see in a jungle, a tree, that's born in the jungle, unless you're able to reach a certain growth rate, you're not going to get sunlight to be able to survive. So you have to grow, because otherwise you can't survive. If you don't grow, if you're just an infant, you're going to die. All right. So the next stage is byproducts. What that means is that bringing new people in and helping care for them. Like if you have a child, for the formative years of that child's life, you have to sacrifice so much for the child. That's the first ideal of sacrifice is given by the mother and the father to the child. So byproducts means helping new people benefit and come into that culture and that organization and thrive in it. So that's very important, because if you don't have that third stage of life, byproducts, which byproducts is kind of a weird word, basically means regeneration, new birth, growth, further development. If you don't have that, then also you can't last past one generation, whether it's a family or an organization. So that stage is important. And then maintaining things. You have the creation energy, like the Vishnu energy, right? You have the growth energy, the Rajagun kind of, the Brahma, which is also, and giving off of the regeneration or other, cultivating new, that's also like Raja. And then you have maintenance, also Vishnu. Creation, growth, and then Vishnu is like the maintenance Shakti. And then ultimately you have, the entropy also. But idea is trying to do things with great responsibility and with great enthusiasm and focus, and learning to, not just be lazies and crazies. People criticize, you're just hanging out, you're just eating and sleeping. We don't want to be like that. We want to do our best in the time we have. We're not just like escapists. We're just in a brief moment of time. What does it matter? No, this brief moment of time is so valuable, because it's a chance for you to succeed on this spiritual quest. If you do succeed, it's kind of like you're ready to level up. And now your gurus have seen, this person, they're willing to take responsibility. They're willing to sacrifice ego and not try to be the controllers, and instead just be the servant, be under guidance. They're willing to try to do that, because it's so easy to become a leader who is exploiting others instead of being a servant who is trying to, lead. We need leaders. We need leaders, but we need leaders with the right culture, with the right mentality, so they can be servants, not exploiters. That's so important. But trying to stave off decay for as long as possible. Hopefully we can create this culture that it can last, as long as possible, understanding and having detachment at the same time. But that's really our mission and our vision here. And so what I was saying, the loving reality, what I feel like it is comprised of is, I came up with these like 4 words which I feel encompass it. Because you crystallize it down to its essence. And I feel like Krishna is a name for the all absolute truth. Krishna literally means the all attractive, and it means the reservoir of pleasure, and it means the absolute truth, Krishna. That's what it means. Prem means the principle of love. God as love, and the soul as in a loving relationship with God, as that principle of love. They say there's 3 realities. There's the lover, the love, and the beloved. Those are our three realities. So prem, if you only have God without love, then what is it? It's impersonal. So God, Krishna, prem, and then seva. If you only have love, but you don't do seva, it said that love without service it's like, where's the love? Without service, service without love is dry, it's selfish. But love without service is like, it's like, those who are in this ras of Santa ras. There's no engagement, and there's no sweetness. Service leads to ananda, bliss. So love itself, how do you get from love to bliss, ananda? Through seva. So that's why Krishna prem seva, that is the spiritual reality. The spiritual realm consists of, the beloved. In our sense, God, we don't think of Krishna actually as God. We're trying to transcend the conception that Krishna is God, realize he's just our intimate friend. Ultimately, in the spiritual world, we don't have any of that conception. Oh, he is God. We discard that. Actually, we try to discard it. We learn the tattvas Gurudev said, but then you must forget them. Unless you forget Krishna is God, he says you can have no relation with him, really. So our desire is, we want, and to do that, we have to have seva. So Krishna prem seva, that is the spiritual world. And then the fourth one, and they say the spiritual world represents 3/4 of reality, they say. So what is the fourth, you say? So that's why I say it's, for me, like what Bhaktabandha we're trying to do is Krishna prem seva ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-violence, or you could translate it as compassion towards others. That's why the 4 legs of Dharma, satya, soch, tapa, doya, truthfulness, cleanliness, compassion, austerity. But doya means compassion, meaning don't harm others. That's why we say don't eat meat. It's very harmful. It's very painful to others. Don't do it. It also encourages those tendencies within you. Then you will be bound to do violence to other human beings. So you may say, oh, animals, I don't believe they have a soul. I don't believe they have feelings, which you'd have to be crazy to believe if you see how they, just search YouTube for, funny human-like things that animals do. I mean, if you don't think they have a soul or have life, they go through all the stages of life we go through, and you can see all the different kind of forms of emotions, maybe in a less complex manner, but you can see it in animals also. But the idea is, even if you don't believe that, by eating meat, it leads to this violent tendencies also towards others. So for me, we're trying to do our best to create a ahimsa place, the idea of being compassionate, being caring, not harming others as much as possible, because that is what is part of the nature of this. What is causing suffering in this world is the hingsa. It is the violence. And so trying to do your best to counter effect that. It doesn't mean passivity. Sometimes people think ahimsa means passiveness and not being, where's the place for being a kshatriya? Some people have the kshatriya tendency, the warrior tendency. Some have the brahminical, the vaishya, the more capitalist tendency. Some have the more labor class tendency. You have these different tendencies in man, in humanity. So being ahimsa, the dharmic warrior is also following ahimsa, because it's the idea of a real kshatriya is someone who is a protector. Kshatriya means to protect from harm. Kshatriya. You're protecting from harm, but you're able to do violence to those who are aggressors against those who are innocent. So like the Arjuna, the warrior class is very important to protect the society also. We need spiritual warriors. We need warriors in this world, because otherwise, there is going to be the barbarian at the gate, or there is always danger. And so to be able to have that. So what I'm just trying to say is being ahimsa doesn't mean there's no place for the spiritual warrior. There's no place for the kshatriya. Never think like that. It's the idea of being righteous and upholding dharma and following Krishna's desire. Ultimately, not harming the atma, not harming the soul, and trying to do your best for that. So that's our important principle. And Krishna prem seva hingsa. It's kind of like, hingsa is what is part of the nature of this samsara. There's also love in this world. You see some semblance of that in this world also. But trying to stave that off and just trying to do our best to serve this cause with that spirit of being the servant, trying to embody those moods that Mahaprabhu taught. Trinadapi sunichana taroda vasahisana amanina manina kirtaniya sarahari. He said the only way we can praise or glorify our gurus and Sri Krishna, which is the meaning of kirtan. Kirtan means praise. To make your life like kirtan. To make your life like the glorification of this beautiful reality. So to do that, you have to learn humility, you have to learn tolerance, and you have to learn to honor others without desiring honor for yourself. And so that's like, it's so important for us to try to develop that culture. And if you're always committing harm to others, then you're not going to be able to do that. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, if you want to serve others, then you have to develop, he says, Dainya doya anyaman pratishtavarjan chari guri gunehao koroho kirtan. You can do kirtan if you develop these 4 qualities. Danya doya anyaman, humility, compassion, anyaman, respecting others, pratishtavarjan, giving up pride and false ego. Then you can do kirtan. Otherwise, it's not going to be possible. And it's very easy to, try to take advantage of situations of leadership. So that's something that's very important for us to try to avoid. And naturally, you have to develop things in an organized way in this world. Also, you have to deal with the laws of this world also. So we do those things, and we incorporate, and we deal with the governments, and we do everything properly. But realizing we are not the doers. This thing that we are doing, it's something that's much bigger than ourselves, much transcendent to ourselves, and trying to serve it in that way. So thank you so much for watching, going on this little journey of this video, and it's a big life change for us going forward. Now we're kind of more moving forward into embracing this and serving this mission. So pray for your good wishes and blessings for that. Hare Krishna. Pranams.